David Menzies for Rebel News here in Bolton, Ontario. Well, folks, I'm here at Claudia's Kloset. I'm with the owner, once again, Claudia Rocca. And you might recall Claudia's story. She opened her business, promptly got served with a ticket by the Ontario Provincial Police. That's okay. She is a fight the fines candidate. We're going to go to bat for her. But you're never going to believe which other level of government is putting some pressure on this little shopkeeper. Just will you hear this story, folks. Okay, so Claudia, we've visited your shop a couple of times, and it was all about you getting ticketed for, doing the kind of behavior Walmart and Costco do on a daily basis, i.e. open your store to customers. And even though you can socially distance and enforce the masking mandate and you have hand sanitizer, it didn't matter in the eyes of the authorities. But much like a merchant down the road here in Bolton, I'm speaking of Derek Noble of Noble Toys, you received a letter from the Attorney General's office threatening you with imprisonment?
Yep, that's right. One day a knock came to the door, and I was served with papers from the Attorney General saying that we have to cease operating or else to be imprisoned.
You know, this is staggering. Like I said in the preamble, you see these huge big box stores, Claudia, opening their doors. I would argue if they can do it, why can't you do it? And I would further argue, Claudia, that in a small business like Claudia's Kloset, and limiting the number of people in at a time to just a few, you can basically maintain a more sanitary, a healthier environment than hundreds of people crowding into the local Walmart or Costco.
That's right. Like a lot of my customers were always complaining about the Walmarts and the Costcos, how everyone was just piled in there. They weren't social distancing. They weren't limiting the amount of people. So they were actually scared to be going in there.
Incredible. And folks, in case you think Claudia and I are exaggerating about jail time for a shopkeeper daring to open their business, I'm going to read excerpts from that letter sent from the Ministry of the Attorney General from Sean Kearney. Here goes.
We are counsel to the Her Majesty the Queen and Right of Ontario. The opening of your business, Claudia's Kloset, for in-store shopping is in contravention of Regulation 82/20 under the Reopening Ontario Act, a flexible response to COVID-19 Act, SO 2020 C-17, the Act. The regulation is an aspect of the framework developed by the province in response to the COVID-19 pandemic and requires that businesses located in Stage 1, gray level lockdown, that engage in retail sales may be open only for curbside pickup and delivery. Claudia's Kloset has been operating in contravention of these requirements. This letter is to provide notice that you are to cease and desist opening Claudia's Kloset to in-store shopping with immediate effect. Should you continue to open your business to in-store shopping, we will immediately exercise available legal remedies, specifically an application under Section 9 of the Act for an order from the Superior Court of Justice restraining Claudia's Kloset and anyone acting on behalf of Claudia's Kloset from contravening Ontario Regulation 82/20. The Act permits an application to be made without further notice to you. Should a Section 9 order be obtained, you or any other person who knows of the order and does anything which helps or permits Claudia's Kloset to breach it may be held in contempt of court. Please be aware that a finding of contempt may result in a term of imprisonment, and that is signed Sean Kearney. Now, folks, if you recall our update story on Noble Toys, we did reach out to Sean Kearney. He basically had sent a carbon copy of the letter Claudia had received. And, it didn't go that well But here, take a listen. You be the judge.
Yep. Oh, yes. Hi. Is this Mr. Sean Kearney?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Hi, Mr. Kearney. It's David Menzies speaking. I'm with Rebel News in Toronto, and I'm just calling about the letter you sent to Derek Noble of Noble Toys. And I'm working on a story about that, and it just struck me as somewhat unusual that somebody with the Attorney General's office would be writing to a small shopkeeper threatening imprisonment if he continues to open his store. And I'm just wondering what led to this extraordinary step.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't comment, and I would ask that and direct you to Ministry of Attorney General Communications. If you had any questions, they could answer them.
Oh, okay, because I thought you were the person on this file. I was passed along the letter, and it had your number.
I'm the legal director for the Crown Law Office Civil. But again, if you have any specific questions about a litigation file, you'd have to direct them to the MAG's Communications branch.
Do you have a name and number for me then, sir?
If you flip me an email, I can send you the information that way. My email should be on the letter.
Indeed. Okay, then. So you can't talk about that, about this matter, even though it is indeed your signature on the letter.
Yeah, no, it's a matter in front of the courts. I'm not allowed to speak about it.
Okay. Is it actually a matter that you can't speak about it, or you won't speak about it?
Both. I'm not at liberty to speak about it. But if you flip me an email, I can flip you the contact information for communications.
Okay, so what I got from that, Klaudya, he's pretty tough when he pens a letter to a small shopkeeper like you or Derek Noble. But wow, when he's just asked some questions from a journalist, he kind of turtles, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he just didn't want to answer any questions regarding that matter.
Well, you know what, Klaudya, I think this is nothing more than outright intimidation. If I were in your shoes and I received a letter from the AG's office, it would make me a little timid, perhaps a little scared. It's almost like what happened to Adamson Barbecue in November when Mayor Tory literally sent in all the King's horses and all the King's men, sending a message to other shopkeepers. You dare open up, this is what's going to happen to you. You're going to be hauled off in handcuffs into a cruiser, and the mounted unit is going to come to your front door. Do you think really that's what's the basis of this letter, that it's all about, putting scare into you?
Oh, yes, for sure. And it actually worked because it also said that anyone that was associated with us working here would be imprisoned as well. And I didn't want that happening to my staff.
And I know your mother helps out sometimes. What did she think of you getting this letter?
She was outraged as well, but she was also a little bit afraid. So we just, kind of scaled back to our curbside.
And one last thing, Klaudya, we should point out that your store, much like Derek's store, Noble Toys, a fantastic store, your store is wonderful as well. When you have curbside pickup, it's not a utopia, is it? I mean, this is the kind of store, much like Derek's, there is so much to see. I'm always distracted by all the fantastic merchandise you have here. And you really make a living based on impulse buying. Somebody that was coming here for something would see something else of interest and buy it. But you can't do that with a curbside setup, can you?
No, it was unfortunate that we got to miss the Christmas sales, the Boxing Day sales, and now we're going to be missing the Valentine's Day sales.
Yeah, but I'm sure, as Sean Kearney would say, who's making six figures on the public tab, we're all in this together, aren't we, Klaudya?
Yeah, maybe on their yacht.
Yeah, or maybe that's the biggest lie coined in 2020 since the check is in the mail. Well, Klaudya, we have your back. Don't be scared by this letter. It is shocking that the AG's office would get involved with any small retailer and try to use scare tactics. And that's what it is. It is trying to scare you into submission. If they do follow through on this threat, our lawyer will be going to bat for you. So moving ahead, I hope everything works out, and don't worry about this letter. We're not going to let them haul you off to jail like they did to Adam Skelly of Adamson Barbecue.
Thank you so much, David. I want to thank all my customers and all of my supporters. Thank you very much for everything.
Hey folks, are you a shopkeeper and you are sick and tired of having your business locked down while the likes of Costco and Walmart, it's business as usual there? Well, if you plan to reopen, please let us know. Go to iwillopen.com, that's iwillopen.com, and I'll be happy to tell the world your story.